I am a little concerned with the safety of having everything stored online. If someone wants to know your information, maybe they could figure out how to hack into it, and that could be a negative factor. Hi, welcome to the OzHealthTech podcast. I'm Natalie, and today we will be talking about standing desks and the benefits of them, disruptive technology, fitness trackers, and gamification of fitness. Stay tuned. A popular topic in health and technology recently has been the development of standing desks.
I had never actually heard of them.
I've read some articles about them, and they're actually really cool. So it's basically like a smaller desk on top of a desk, and you can adjust the height to it. So essentially, instead of if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're sitting all day, you can use this desk and stand at your office all day, or for as long as you want, and it's supposed to have a lot of health benefits. Do you think it's beneficial from going to the sitting to standing for most of your day?
I would say it is beneficial because you burn more calories standing than you do sitting.
Right.
I don't think it'll work for everybody. I don't think everybody's going to want to stand all day because people do have problems with their feet and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think everyone's going to opt to want to try it.
Yeah, and I also feel like people just have a normal routine daily where they just sit at their desks all day, and they're not going to want to branch out and try something new. But maybe people that are, healthy and active would want to try this if they found out about it. And also the health benefits are that it does burn more calories. I read in an article that it does burn an extra 54 calories a day if you're standing for 6 hours using this desk instead of sitting. In total, if you do that every day for a year, you lose 5.5 pounds. That's a lot, for like just changing that one little thing out of your day, and you consistently do it. I am all for them. Would you get one?
I think that there's a lot of things that would need to be discussed further, such as the cost and other pros and cons of them.
Yeah.
But I am for them.
Yeah, me too. I know the costs can range from anywhere from $200 to $400, and there's some that are a lot more pricey, but they do have more advanced technology to them. And if some people are into that and they have the money to do that, then that's awesome. I think it's a really great way to improve your health, even like at your office during the day. Do you have trouble with posture, like during the day, like in your classes?
Yeah, I often notice that I'm like usually hunched over my work and that my lower back is usually like hurting me at the end of the day.
With me, I notice in all of my classes, I'm just like hunched over. Sitting just really doesn't improve my posture, but there is a benefit to the standing desk in that it does improve your posture because you are standing. It's great for that.
Our next topic is disruptive technology. Disruptive technology is anywhere where technology is used unconventionally. So it could be anywhere in the health field or in school environments or any non-traditional uses of it in like office or day-to-day life. The biggest thing associated with disruptive technology in healthcare is electronic records. And what do you think about those?
Electronic health records. I think it's way easier to store and keep patient information all on one computer. So if you want to look up anything that has to do with the patient, you just click their name and all of their information shows up. And I just think it's a lot easier to manage everything rather than just like pulling out a hard copy of a file. And I just think it's easier in that sense.
I mean, are you at all concerned with the security of it?
I am, yes. I am a little concerned with the safety of having everything stored online. If someone wants to know your information, maybe they could figure out how to hack into it, and that could be a negative factor in having it electronic.
Yeah, I definitely think if this is the way we're going to go towards in the future, we need to work on software to protect our information better. I think hackers are very skilled at what they do, and it seems a bit problemsome to me that they can go in and find out all your medical records and know your full health history from birth.
Maybe these offices do have a good software that maybe we don't know about, but it is like a potential issue that maybe the records aren't safe or aren't as safe as we think they are.
Yeah, I definitely think it needs to be researched more. What is your opinion on people diagnosing themselves when they're sick?
I think there's two sides to it. So I think that there is a good way of doing it and a bad way of doing it. So the bad way is just like Googling your symptoms and visiting the first website you see, which is usually WebMD, websites like that aren't very truthful in a sense. So you could be like, oh, my arm itches, and you would like have some serious condition, so I think it's not reliable in that sense. But there are websites available where there are actual health professionals that have credentials, that know what they're talking about, and that can provide treatments for individuals. So I think there's a good and a bad side to it.
I mean, yeah, definitely, I agree with you. I think if you're going to do that, you should always go to credible sources. And I think it's always a good idea to have some background knowledge when going to seek out professional help, especially in the healthcare field. That's exactly what it is. You're going to professionals for their opinions and for their consultation. So always keep that in mind, I would say, because they are professionals for a reason, and they do have an education in this, and they're certified in what they do.
I think disruptive technology, I don't think it's going anywhere. I feel like the more time goes on, the more technology is going to become more advanced, and I think we're going to become a lot more involved in technology in our daily lives.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, and I definitely agree. I think that if it is going to continue to be used, security precautions definitely need to be looked at, and just making sure all of people's information is safe and secure.
Hello, Sophie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So today I wanted to bring up the topic of fitness trackers and, possible benefits or maybe negatives. What are your opinions on fitness trackers?
So you can track different things. You can track your exercise, your steps, your heart rate throughout the day, your sleep, your food intake. For me, from personal experience, I've mostly used the exercise aspect and the food aspect. I get severe migraines, so I had to track my food for a long time. I didn't necessarily use the calorie counter part of it. If you're trying to find a specific trigger food, for migraines, that part can help for tracking your food, and especially for the exercise part of it too, to keep track of your exercises and keep track of your calories burned per exercise. I think that's a really good thing to keep track of.
Right, and I agree with the whole calorie tracking, especially, let's say if you're a very active person or an athlete, maybe you're a bodybuilder. I think that's very important. You said you never counted calories, correct?
Yeah, I didn't really have a need to. I didn't really overeat or anything, and I exercised. I was eating enough for how much I was working out, and so I didn't really have a need to count my calories.
Did you find it helpful to keep a log?
Yeah, I really liked being able to see what I ate, because if something made me not feel good, then I just wouldn't eat that. I could pinpoint what I didn't want to eat anymore and what made me not feel good.
And did you only use apps on your smartphone, or did you have a wearable device like a Fitbit? I know they have a bunch of different watches.
I had the app called My Plate. You log your food, you can count your food, or you type in your food and choose whichever one, and you type in your servings and you count your water intake and everything, and it will automatically count your steps throughout the day. And you can even keep track of your exercise on there. It will deduct calories burned automatically.
When you look for certain foods, like let's say banana, and you want to log that in, does it only give you the calories, or does it give you the whole nutrition
It
label?
includes fat percentage, protein percentage, carb percentage,
potassium, everything?
I don't think it had potassium, but I know it had carbs, fats, and proteins.
I bought in the past, I had a Fitbit. I think it was when it first came out, and I started using it. I was in my varsity team in high school, and I wanted to see how many steps I would be taking in a day and how many calories I would burn. I didn't think it was very accurate. It just didn't make sense. I would say I would have 5,000 steps in a day, and I would be moving in and out of school, going to soccer practice with it. So maybe the fitness trackers definitely have to work on their accuracy levels. As far as the heart rate goes, I don't think mine had a heart rate monitor. Did you say you had a tracker, or do you have a heart rate monitor on your phone?
I didn't have the actual device, like the wearable Apple Watch or Fitbit Blaze or anything like a wearable device. I only had an app on my phone, so I didn't have the heart rate feature for anything.
Right.
So I didn't keep track of that, no.
Would you personally invest in one of these products?
Yeah, I think that would be a really good thing to have and to keep track of, especially when you're just walking to class, on campus. You get some pretty good exercise just on a daily basis, especially as a college student, walking to class. So I think I would really like to keep track of how much calories and what my heart rate gets up to walking to class, to and from class and everything. I think that would be good. Have you heard, or do you know anything about gamification of fitness?
Yeah, I remember back in 2008, maybe 2009, I got my first Wii when the gamification first started coming out, and I thought it was a very interesting take to kind of change and like revolutionize the whole gaming scenario, I guess you could say. I'd never seen anything like it, and I thought it was really cool how it got me and my friends to get together and actually move around in my living room, like playing,
you didn't have to participate in a team sport. If you weren't athletic, you could, or like you weren't an extrovert like that, you could participate in activity like in your own home. I think that's really cool. And an incentive that they had for specifically for the Wii was that Wii age thing. And like you had to have a young age, and everybody wanted to be young. So I think that was cool. What do you think about the incentive? Was that a good idea, or should they have done something better, like a points reward kind of thing, like unlocking more games?
Yeah, unlocking more games would definitely be a great incentive, because when it first came out, motion sensor was something that the world had never seen, and once people started playing it, people did get hooked. Wii was on the rise for a while before it started falling in the market. I think gamification has only gotten better in the past decade, because it's only been around for about 8-9 years, and now they have virtual reality and everything, which I think is great because it's actually helping a disabled population cope with their disability or maybe try to fix it, which I think is great. Just getting people to move, since we have the whole obesity epidemic in the United States.
Yeah, I agree. Another game that is popular and they've come out with so many is Just Dance. Just Dance was used on the Xbox Kinect, which had like the motion sensor thing. You just stand in front of it. You don't even have to hold like a Wii remote type of thing. You just stand in front of it. It senses your body and everything. It knows where you are.
Yeah, I think that's a great innovation. And now with the virtual reality gaming, I think that took it to a whole nother level, because now these games aren't just for recreational use, but maybe you can be using for therapy, like exposure therapy. People that have phobias, we can put them in certain scenarios through virtual reality so they can start getting ready in case that ever happens to them in real life. Let's say somebody has a phobia of snakes, they're terrified of snakes. The virtual reality gaming really innovative in that aspect.
Yeah, that sounds very important. It's definitely come a long way. Gamification for health has definitely improved a lot in the short time that it's been around, and I think that it will definitely advance a lot further, and it's definitely benefiting a lot of people.
I'm Natalie. Thanks for listening to the OzHealthTech podcast.